our final AFC division. A lot of changes in this one. Texans, Colts, Jacksonville, Titans. They had a C- draft, B+, A-, and B+ respectively. That C- was, due to not having a first-round pick because of the Tunsil trade and also trading away your second-round pick to get Brandon Cooks. So we'll start with them. What is Bill O'Brien doing there?
This should be the new intro to this podcast. Welcome into the Bill O'Brien Hater Podcast. But this dude is the GM.
But why?
Why? Exactly. He's not doing anything good. They traded all these picks for Tunsil, who all he did was false start last year. He had, I don't know the exact stat, but he had double-digit false starts as a professional left tackle. And then they paid him. Okay? So, I couldn't tell you they drafted. And I'm going to look it up right here. But, so Bill O'Brien, you're trash. That's all there is to it.
This is gonna be the intro to the podcast. Well, welcome to the Bill O'Brien Haters Podcast. The thing that's crazy though, and I listened to a lot of podcasts and somebody talked about it, and it was kind of funny. Deshaun Watson might be on the Cam Newton MVP train. I'm gonna just basically be Superman and do everything, and it's so terrible that that has to be the case, because we were talking about it when we did our team breakdowns, and I brought up the point Deshaun Watson is going to win 2 or 3 games for you that you have no business winning, and they're doing it in the free agency and they're doing it in the draft. They're going to walk into this season and say hey Deshaun, be an MVP caliber guy or we're going to be dog shit this year. So I feel bad for him. This is what it was with Andrew Luck at the Indianapolis Colts.
But they didn't draft anyone that's going to help them.
Right.
A D tackle from TCU, tired of the TCU stuff, man. Make a bowl game. They had so many dudes drafted early. Be above 500. And from there, from Florida, tackle, and linebacker.
Edge rusher.
Linebacker, edge rusher, tackle from UNC. Corner from Penn State in the 4th.
Best pick is Isaiah Coulter, Rhode Island. That's the best.
So their best pick was a 1AA receiver.
Yeah, that's the best player that they got.
And
because he's actually kind of nice, but
I don't care how nice he is. Is he Hopkins? No,
he's not Nuke.
Is he Kiki Kuti? No. So is he going to play? So they have how many guys they have are going to actually play?
Kenny Steele.
At receiver, you're looking at Fuller, Stills on I think a 1-year deal. Brandon Cooks, all those guys are injury prone, so Coulter's gonna play, guys. He's gonna get on the field.
Tell me who this is. Isaiah Coulter, draft comp, Marquess Wilson.
Out of Washington State. Oh,
where does he play?
He plays the same place I play.
Exactly. So that's not a good pick. It can't be a good pick if he's doing the same job as us.
Oh man. Well, I think the Colts definitely did a good job positioning themselves, to try to get better this season. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars definitely made strides as well. A couple of years ago, they had a very strong defense. Blake Bortles did an okay job, didn't mess it up. Minshew is that same kind of quarterback who is moderately athletic, is not going to mess it up. If they don't ask him to do too much and they just funnel all of these assets into defense and stifle you there, Jacksonville has a shot. But I think the Colts kind of separated themselves. What do you think about that, Jamar?
Definitely. The Colts, I think, when we were looking back at how we did our initial mock draft, I don't think the Colts, and I can't remember actually where they were on that list at all, even if they did make it. Did they make it into it?
I don't think so. I don't
know if they made it in.
I think that they were one of the first outs because we gave it to the Titans.
We didn't put them in, no.
Texans.
I don't know. With adding, Pittman and Taylor, and filling in some other spots here, and what Phillip, if he has a good season, can do. I don't know. I'm having some second thoughts about the Colts in this division right now. I think if the stars align, they can make some noise.
I think so too. I think of the teams in this division, they got the best, right? So they got Pittman, they got Taylor. They helped their secondary with Blackman. They added a couple linebacker types, and then they got Eason. Wasn't the biggest Eason fan, but you give Phillip
He's
2 years.
trash.
No, I'm not saying he's not.
Easton?
He's trash.
But you give him a couple years. No, I'm just saying you give him a
0
couple
years.
years.
He's trash.
But they haven't put any draft capital in since Andrew left.
Yeah, and that's
So maybe they know, like, this team knows that Phillips 1 to 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
If they like the guy, they can play him. If not, just draft somewhere else.
Yeah.
Next 2 years in the first couple rounds.
And that's the beauty of him being a 4th round pick.
Right.
You can make that decision, but what I think is going to happen is Phillip is going to play pretty solid for 2 years. They're going to be right in that playoff picture, and then Eason's going to come in and they'll be like, we have these prospects on the board, but Eason's looked really great in practice, and they're going to go into the tank. They're going to go into the tank in 4 years. If Eason's starting, they're going to go into the tank, and they're going to have to start it all over.
But also, if you can't figure that out, watching the guy for 2 years, then you deserve to be bad.
Exactly.
So, I'm not going to feel bad for him if they're bad because they're playing Easton.
Right.
I'm going to feel bad for him if they thought Phillip was going to be good, and he's Phillip.
17, 18 picks, Phillip.
Yeah.
He's about to come out swinging this year. I have a feeling.
But
People who leave the Chargers go on to do very well for themselves. Just saying.
You know what? I forgot about
I'm just saying.
When we made that bet with Adam about Phillip versus Tom Brady, I forgot that there's that stigma he about to be MVP this year. Phillip Rivers be like, you know what? I'll show you, Chargers.
But also, they didn't have Gronk yet.
People.
Yeah, true.
So Adam, just send me the money now.
Yo,
all those bets, send them now.
People leave the Chargers and go win Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if the Colts win the Super Bowl?
Oh my God!
Not a chance.
I
love Frank
Colts
Reich,
versus Bucks in the Super Bowl.
No one wants to watch Grandpa play. Both grandpas get out of the Super Bowl.
Yes, I don't want to watch either one of them.
But that'd be the most watched Super Bowl ever.
I mean, with all those people from Indianapolis and Baltimore, and then all of the people... I mean, Tampa Bay is hosting the Super Bowl this year, so it'll be the first time ever somebody played in their own Super Bowl. So,
if Tampa makes it, it's the most watched Super Bowl ever.
Yeah. I mean...
Plain so it doesn't matter who they're playing.
It'll be parties in Florida.
If you throw Kansas City in that mix, man.
Oh.
Roger Goodell.
Grandpa versus the young kid.
Oh, yeah.
They love that shit.
He'd be like, the passing of the guard. I can say it now. The passing of the guard. Tom Brady to Patrick Mahomes. It's like our old son to our new son. It's like they love that man, Patrick Mahomes. Oh my goodness. But all right. I mean, I think we're all convinced Indianapolis Colts did well for themselves this season or this off season. Tennessee, they didn't do bad. They hit some needs. They are still on the grit and grind. We're gonna try to build on defense, build in the trenches, which is great. I would have liked to see them, kind of get a little bit more dynamic on offense. I mean, I know that they made some picks there, but nothing that was a really big splash. I mean, like I said,
How about Cole McDonald?
How about Cole McDonald?
Seventh rounder. Do I think he's like Tannehill Jr.?
I mean, he cut off his dreads, so he's not cool to me anymore.
I mean, yeah, that's fine. But I like the Wilson one too. Wilson was, I think we talked about this at some point, that he may have been as good as
Andrew Thomas.
Andrew Thomas,
yeah.
And Fulton was,
He definitely fell. That was a good slot.
That's
for
because
them.
they were watching him play with Stingley.
Yeah.
Stingley's going to be 2 seasons from now, 2022 draft.
Yep.
Stingley.
Top
number
5
one
pick.
corner. Number one corner.
But we can all agree that the best part of Tennessee's draft and probably what boosted their grade was the Power Ranger and the blonde mullet in the background.
It's like, what were they doing over here?
Hey, I like Mike Vrabel's kids. They got some wild personalities.
Oh my god!
But
To
you're
me,
not your
that
dad.
I know, right?
That boosted.
Neither of them dudes are going to be in the league.
Oh man! So